Birdbox.
Birdbox.
Birdbox. Well, the premise of Birdbox.
Well,
Spoilers right away. Jurassic Park, Henry Wu is in the movie. It starts off and then it goes back.
and then he shoots himself in the face after he kills everybody.
Yeah. Which wasn't that scary. Jump forward and they jump back and then they jump forward again.
You never see it coming. And
Digging to look to make this movie better than it is.
Bird Box, see what happened, and then you forget about it.
Jump forward and they jump back and then they jump forward again.
Birdbox.
They just did it to do it. Don't look. Stay inside.
All right, somebody's got to look.
I'd give it a 6 out of 10.
Pretty mediocre. It's a Netflix movie.
OKEE.
6 out of 10. I'm not sorry at all. Beginning of this movie, it was psychological warfare. Mm-hmm. Or like chemical warfare or something.
Yeah, that's what they were theorizing
From,
that
like,
was causing
Russia
these
or
events in
something, right?
Russia. Yeah, that they thought it was like some sort of chemical warfare or some sort of agent that got loose that was causing these people to do this.
Because it happened in Russia before, so it was like...
Yeah, it was like making its way over. And then once we got to it, that's what the people... So that's... that could be the point.
But...
That wasn't even what was really going on. It could have been some release of some chemical agent. And this is just what people were perceiving it as. That's interesting. That's almost better than what the movie was.
Yeah, except what would you would have had to look at outside?
See, that's why I don't think it could be a chemical agent, though, because like the beans couldn't get inside. Like they couldn't go through any walls or windows or whatever. Like you can't scrutinize the movie too much or it'll fall apart.
Yeah.
Yeah. And when the movie was over, I was like, oh, this was just a better Happening that starred Mark Wahlberg back in like 2004 or 6 or something like that, where it was the plants that were causing people to kill themselves.
There's been a ton of movies like that too.
Yeah.
Where-
What sucks is you said you haven't seen The Happening, right?
I feel like I've seen it, but I don't remember
It's
it.
not really worth it.
Yeah.
But like The Happening had better death sequences. Like people kill themselves in crazy ways in The Happening. Like there's like a dude that's like mowing his lawn and he's like, and then he just goes under the lawnmower and you're like, what the fuck was that? Like now correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like the best death in this movie was when the girl got in the car that was on fire. Like in the very beginning, she goes to save Sandra Bullock, and then she's like, and then she just like gets in the car that's on fire and is all burning. Like, was there any other? That's the only death I really remember. I know the Henry Wu,
the dude.
Jurassic Park Henry Wu is in the movie,
Yeah.
and he like bashes his head, but I was like we all kind of saw that coming.
The one dude that like saves her, brings her to the house. African American dude.
Yeah, the black guy.
And then he shoots himself in the face after he kills everybody.
Yeah. But that was like, he just shot himself in the head. Like it wasn't like
the
some
weird
crazy
part was
stuff.
like the thing that didn't make any sense was which maybe it's because they were crazy already, but like why were people from a mental institution able to survive through all of that?
And you know what? Actually,
that should be the people that should succeed to those things the most because they already have those, and it's supposed to bring out like your deepest fears, all this stuff.
Yeah.
And like they already have that, so like they were just automatically like done.
Yeah. No, I get what you're saying, but the movie, in my opinion anyway, the movie needed some aspect that was more than just this, like these beings killing themselves, like that. Like for me, that aspect that, now there's people that basically worship these things now, and they're going out and hunting the other people. Like this movie really needed that. Because if it was just, don't look, stay inside, just use your GPS when you're driving, which that scene was horrible.
Yeah.
When they got in the car and painted out the windows, like you could never do that in real life. Just drive and make it there, just following GPS when there's like debris and crashed cars everywhere. I mean, it was good though. They rolled over like dead people. They're like going all slow and they're like, she was like
It's a speed bump.
That wasn't a speed bump. I was like, like there's like some like situational type funny parts in there that was needed in the movie. But
yeah, you know who I wish would have stayed in the movie was the dude who sacrificed himself at the grocery store. I feel like that would have made the movie a lot more interesting.
I know, right? Yeah, that would have been more interesting because you had the because that was the other black character in the movie, and he was like, "Oh, these are from like ancient Sumerian times," and like all this stuff.
He knew
like he was like
everything.
he was like bringing up all these different things that this could be, and that was like one of the most interesting aspects in the movie for me anyway. I was like, "Oh shit, this is pretty cool." Like that would be a way for us to learn more about what these things are.
Yeah.
Instead of like not
knowing anything.
And I didn't mind that they didn't explain away too much about the people from the psychiatric hospital, how it wasn't affecting them. Like I didn't mind that they didn't put too much exposition into that.
Yeah.
Like leave it up to you to think about a little bit. But have you seen? I just saw one on Facebook before we started doing this, and it made me laugh. Have you seen like this stuff on Facebook that are like, this movie is clearly like resembling depression and anxiety in society and doing this, and those are so funny. And every time I see one of these posts that like, the Bird Box is just showing how society is blinded to the fact that all these people have all these mental disorders and all this different stuff. And every time I see one of those, I just post a gif of someone shoveling dirt because they're just fucking digging to make this movie better than it is. Like, that movie has nothing to do with that. If that's the case, then why are the insane people not killing themselves?
Yeah.
Like, that makes no sense. Yeah, it's just funny.
They would have done the opposite. It would have been only insane people killing themselves.
Yeah, right? Like, yeah. So, the Bird Box. So, I would say, I would give the Bird Box, I'd give it a 6 out of 10. I'd give it a D. And it's like a mediocre D. It's not like almost failing. It's good. It's passable. I'm glad we didn't see it in the theater. I'm glad it was only a Netflix release movie. That way I didn't have to pay anything other than the Netflix subscription, which I get my money's worth. I watched it once. I probably won't watch it again. And I wouldn't really even like recommend it to anybody, to be honest. Like, unless I was like, would probably be your kind of movie if you like suspenseful kind of scary movies that aren't too suspenseful or scary. Like if you're like a horror wussy, I'd be like, you might like this.
Yeah.
But like, I still like thinking more about The Happening, which is also a movie about people killing themselves in certain ways. Like that movie had better deaths. And even though like the premise was fucking stupid, like I wish this movie would have made more happening deaths, because like The Happening was like a little more exciting, even though it was so stupid. But like this movie wasn't that exciting. It was like you never got like that. Oh, we gotta go, we gotta move, we gotta do this, we gotta go do that. Like it never really like amped you up. For me anyway, yeah. Bird Box never amped me up to being like, oh shit, they gotta get going. They gotta run from these things. Because they couldn't. It was just always blindfold. Like these things were everywhere at all times. Anytime you looked anywhere, they'd get you within seconds. Mm-hmm. And it was like, it hurt. That hurt the movie. Like if there was like a way to, if there was like a darkness that came before the things came, that way you could get out and be like, oh, God, it's coming. The darkness is coming this way. Close your eyes. Close your eyes. Don't look. And like then you'd hear people's footsteps running around. Like, oh shit, the people are here too. Like we have to look. Someone's gotta that would have made it so much better.
If the different like monsters had personalities,
that would be crazy too. Like if
where like one monster's like super sneaky, you never see it coming, and
like a little more depth to like the antagonist.
Right.
Because that's like what the antagonist was these things that you never get to see, which was cool. But like, or like if maybe there was certain entities that like got pleasure in people killing themselves in certain ways and focused on that for like the first like 30% of the movie and be like, oh my God, there's different ones. Certain people are killing themselves in a certain way, or they would like etch the name of the thing and be like, and kill themselves some crazy way. Like that would have been really cool. Yeah. I think that's why this movie hurts, because both of us are like thinking of all the different ways this movie could have been so much better, and it wasn't that great. Yeah, what do you think, man?
I'd give it a Yeah, probably a 6 out of 10.
Yeah, you give it a D2. Yeah, like it's not
Like-
failing. It's not a horrible movie.
I
It doesn't get lower than a 5 or a 5 or lower for me. Like at least it was. Like at least the story was there, right? At least the story was there. At least John Malkovich was in it. That's a big plus for me. John Malkovich is always fucking awesome. He's awesome in this movie too. And the shots were good. The acting was good. There was never a point where I was like, "This is what? That doesn't make any sense." Like, there's things that the characters do make sense in the circumstance. Like it was cohesive.
Yeah, I think it's just there's like, well, it's a Netflix movie, right? It's the only place it was released. So like, there's some shows that I've been watching recently, like Sick Call with Ron from Harry Potter.
Okay.
It's a terrible show, but it's about on mediocre par with Birdbox, where like you put it on the background, you see what happened, and then you forget about it, and you're like, oh,
yeah,
this was such a cool movie.
Yeah,
With
you're
that
right.
enthusiasm.
Like just in the couple of days that it's been. When did you watch this?
A couple days ago.
You see, I watched it a couple of days ago too. And when you were like, "Oh yeah," when the black guy died, I was like, "Oh yeah, that's right. That is how he dies." Like it's very forgettable, unfortunately. Yep. Like there's not a lot of scenes that really stick out that much at all. Hmm. Like the John Malkovich scenes stick out to me. Everything with John Malkovich, I remember. But like everything else, I'm like, oh yeah, I guess like, is that how that went? Well, but you know what movie that you told me to watch that I finally watched? That's a Netflix original movie too. I think it was Extinction, where it's like the alien invasion, and then there's a twist in the movie, and it turns out they're robots in the movie.
I don't remember.
You watched it a while ago, and it's called Extinction, and it's not bad. It has, I think his name is Michael Pena. The same
Pena,
yeah. And I liked Extinction more than I liked this movie. Yeah, like Extinction was better than this movie. I mean, they're two completely different genres, but overall I was like, well, at least it was a good twist in Extinction.
Yeah.
Like even though it was like a low budget sci-fi action movie, it was still a good low budget sci-fi action movie. And this was like a high budget suspense horror movie that wasn't.
Was it really high budget?
I'm pretty sure it was like $25-30 million budget, man. Like, for what it is, like, I could see Extinction being that much because there's a lot of CGI in it, there's a lot of action in it, they gotta, like, spend a lot of money in it.
There's blow dryers in this for their CGI.
Right.
And,
yeah.
And a river. Well, the crazy part was, which was kind of cool, this movie took place, like, right next to us.
I know, that was cool. Yeah. When they're like, going through and they're saying, like, oh, San Mateo and all that, I was like, holy shit, that's, like 40 minutes down the road.
Yeah, they're like
going. So that was cool.
I think the river they were going
for
down
us
was Sacramento
in California.
River.
I wonder if it was. Oh shit.
Yeah, because they were talking about going to Stockton, or she lived in Stockton.
Yeah.
All this stuff.
And I was like, oh, I wonder if some of it. I wonder if we should look that up to see if it was actually shot on location around here.
Yeah,
that'd be interesting. You know what else was shot on location around here? Was the amazing 2018. Was shot and filmed in San Francisco. And,
not too far
and they
from
made
us.
sure that you knew that because every shirt he was wearing said that he was from said that he was from San Francisco. Did I say Sacramento? I always do that.
San Francisco.
I did. Okay, good. So
yeah, pretty much.
Birdbox.
Keep it on with those memes because they're pretty accurate.
Yeah, I saw one that had Sandra Bullock and her kids. And they're like huddled together, and it was like all white people in the ethnic food aisle. I was like, that was pretty good. I laughed out loud on that one.
There's been a couple of them I laughed at.
Yeah, there's been a couple of good ones. But
yep.
I'm sorry to say that the memes are the best part of this movie.
I'm not sorry at all.
Yeah.
Well done.
Too bad.
Movie. Birdbox.
No. On to The Mule.
The Mule. Directed by.
Produced by. And starred.
Clint Eastwood. He's an old racist guy doing racist things, saying racist things. I'm your boss now.
Really? It doesn't really matter. He runs drugs.
Lost his job because of the internet.
I was just expecting more from it.
Yeah.
This movie sucked. Really? It's not a great movie. On with it. Like, let's have something else happen.
He looked the part.
He did. Yeah. What? Like, just call us black. God.
Right.
Like, you kids don't know nothing if you can't Google it. Really? Definitely looked the part. Nothing stood out to me, but it was all good. One-time watch for me.
Probably like a 7.5.
I don't even really know, to be
I don't
honest.
remember
But
ratings.
I agree with you on the rating.
Old guy.
No one probably laughed at me saying that. Exhausted ourselves in a review of okay movies. Like, he made some more electronic jokes. I know that the texting was funny. Where he was like, I don't know how to text.
I see the part you're talking about, like the whole preachy part, but I don't think it was those parts.
No.
The preachy parts was when he was talking to the DEA agent, being like, don't give up on your family, like that kind of thing.
Yeah, I know, and that was a good scene in the movie because so in this movie there's a DEA agent that's after him, and he comes pretty damn close to catching him. It's just he doesn't look like a drug runner, so he doesn't catch him. And he goes and he meets the DEA agent that's after him and has a coffee with him. And yeah, he talks to him a little bit and like gives him some life advice and stuff like that. And that was really good. It reminded me of Ronin. I know you might not have seen that movie. It's an older movie, but in Ronin there's this epic scene. It's like probably one of the best dialogue scenes in movies. Like it's definitely like one of my top 3 favorite scenes ever. Mm-hmm. It's about a heist guy, and it's about a detective in like the robbery homicide unit, and like they both know that each other are coming after them, but they haven't met. And so he pulls him over and he like says, hey, like there's some dialogue, I don't remember exactly, but he's like, hey, let me buy you a coffee. So they go meet in a coffee shop, and it's like a 15-minute scene of this fucking murderer heist guy and the detective trying to catch him, like having this dialogue between themselves. And it like kind of reminded me a little bit of that. It wasn't as good as that, but I was like, fuck, I like this. Like I like when that happens. These two people that have never met each other, that are one's running away and one's chasing them, and then they have this convo together, and they didn't even know it. Like in this movie, they didn't know it. In Ronin, they knew it. But it was like that was a good scene. I really liked that scene. That was
They ran into each other a few times, like outside the hotel.
Yeah, outside the hotel when he was rolling by.
I don't remember what he said.
The damn ice machine's broken, or so there's a dick by the ice machine, or something like that. Yeah, like there was a couple encounters that they had that were like little light one sentence kind of deals, and then the sit down coffee scene. So I mean, yeah, it was.
Well, the thing is, I like Michael Pena, Bradley Cooper.
I do. I like. That's the one thing
Clint
too
Eastwood.
that I like about this cast is that Clint Eastwood's a fucking legend. Let's not get wrong about this. Even though he's so old, it kind of like it's harder for me to kind of like believe that this is the world that I'm being presented. You know what I mean? Like it kind of breaks that aspect of storytelling to me because he's so freaking old. But all the supporting cast, and it's kind of like this in Bird Box too. The whole supporting cast was very good. Not that Sandra Bullock's not good.
Was not
that
good supporting cast.
You don't think so? Her love interest, John Malkovich, the black dude, the annoying ass other pregnant lady. Like all the characters were really good characters.
I guess.
And in this movie, in my opinion anyway, and in this movie too, Morpheus was in it. And it's always good to see, I can't remember his real name, but it's always good seeing him. Like, he always does, like, a good job in his movies. He's, like, basically plays the same person.
Yeah, Lawrence Fishburne.
Lawrence Fishburne's in it. And then Michael Pena is the guy's name, right? Michael Pena. Bradley Cooper. Like, yeah, like all these. Allison Eastwood. Yeah, like all the supporting characters are all good actors in and of themselves.
Yeah.
Like, all of them have starred in their own movies, and so they really help this movie go along. Like, I feel like... Oh, and then also, this movie had that same generic Mexican guy that's, like, in all... Like, he's in Training Day. He's in freaking Walking Dead in the first season.
Right here?
No, this guy, Noel... I can't remember his name. I've met him. I'll put his picture up. I can't pronounce his last name, but I've met him like twice, and he's the nicest fucking guy, dude. Like he's one of the nicest like movie star, like yeah, he's a movie star. Fuck yeah, he is, that I've ever met. And he's super nice, and it cracks me up because he never gets a nice role. He's always the buttoned up fucking cholo. Yeah. That, you know, it's like, oh man, like I wish they'd give him more roles. That was
the other thing was, dude, like even the people he was running the drugs for, the people he was meeting up with like weekly.
Yeah. They like, started liking him and shit. Like in the beginning, they were like, what the fuck? What's this old fucking guy, eh? And then like after a couple times, like, hey, all right, man, this is how you text, okay? You have this, and then he like puts the address in for him and shit. Like that was a funny, cute aspect of the movie that I didn't expect to happen. They're like, oh shit, all these fucking cholo gangsters are like, they're like, oh hey, it's Papa. What were they? Tito. They were calling him Tito, right? Tata. Yeah, they were calling him Tata. That's right. And I was like, oh, that's funny. That they're like, oh hey, it's Tata. What's up, man? Did he got his new truck? Like, hey, oh, check out the new ride, eh? I was like, oh man, this is enjoyable. Like, yeah, like that's what I would say about this movie is it was an enjoyable movie.
Yep.
Like I had a good time watching it. I think maybe why I'm just giving it like just an average 7, like a solid 7, not a low 7 or anything like that. Just a solid C movie. It's just a straight. This is the story. Here you go. Sit back, relax, and enjoy it. And you know me, I like fucking getting tricked and like having really good cinematography and music. And so, and like this, like really didn't have much of that. Like everything was good. The cinematography was good. There was no shots where I was like, "Fuck, that was a cool shot," or like in Creed when the whole fucking boxing scene is one shot, or like Baby Driver when he's like going down the street and singing a song. It's all one fucking shot, and you're like, "Holy fuck!" Like that's some artistic talent right there. Like nothing stood out to me, but it was all good. There wasn't no shots where I'm like, I can't fucking see what's going on.
Right.
Or, you know, like, yeah, like it was just a very mediocre movie for me.
I wouldn't call it mediocre.
You wouldn't, yeah.
No, I'd say it was a, like, pretty decent movie with a decent storyline, decent storytelling, all good characters. Like, everything about the movie was,
yeah, I'll replace that. Not mediocre, decent. I agree with everything you're saying. Yeah, like, everything on there was decent.
Like, everything was what it was supposed to be, and there was no, like, fault of the movie. There was no hole in the movie where I was like, oh, well, like I didn't come out of that movie with any questions except for one, and that was at the beginning of the movie. There's a point where he's like this big timer florist.
Yeah, what do they call those people? It's like a hornograph something. I can't remember, but the people that grow flowers.
A florist.
There's a specific word for it. I'll put it here. There's a specific word for it. Horticulture, something like that. Fuck, I'm destroying this. But yeah, he like wins an award, and he does that instead of going to his daughter's wedding.
And then it flash forwards like 12 years.
Yeah, and there's like
making it to his granddaughter's wedding on accident.
Yeah, it was weird. Yeah. like there was a big time jump. At least I think, like, we're assuming there was a time jump, right?
Yeah, because her daughter was...
Like, it could have been...
the flower girl for the wedding.
Oh, was she?
Yeah.
Okay. I was like, part of me was thinking, oh, like, maybe his daughter's getting, like, her second marriage. And then, like, 3 weeks later, her daughter's getting married. Because it didn't... I was like, what the fuck?
I think her daughter was the flower girl in the first wedding.
Oh, and it was fucked up, yeah. And that's the one thing I like when movies like this, where the bad guy is a bad guy. Because Clint Eastwood's a bad guy in this movie. He's not the good guy. And he's a piece of shit throughout the whole movie until like the very end where he's making all this money and then he's just blowing it on shit. And like there's a really good scene where he's like telling his new handler, like, hey, like you should probably think about getting out of this business because he seems like to be a decent guy. Like he doesn't want bad things to happen to him and stuff, to Clint Eastwood's character in this movie. And he tells him, well, what are you telling me for? Like, there's a reason you're working for us. Like maybe you've enjoyed your life a little too much the whole time. Because he's telling him, hey, get out of here, go and enjoy your life. And he's like, fucking look at you. You're working for us. You're a mule. Maybe you enjoy your life too much. And it's totally what he's done.
Yeah.
He's kicked his family to the background. Everything of revolving the people that love him is an afterthought. And he's not a good guy. Like even when he's buying the veteran hall to keep the veteran hall open, he really just bought it to keep it open because he's not going to have anywhere else to go to hang out. Mm-hmm. He's like, oh, we're not going to have bingo here anymore or play poker or whatever he says. He just buys it to make himself feel better.
Yep.
Like he's not helping anybody. He's doing it for himself. And then you get a little bit of a redeeming factor at the end.
I wonder
when his ex-wife is
like how much money at the end of this he had, and how much.
I don't think he had much. Like, I'm assuming
that
by the time he got arrested, he probably didn't have much money. Because he was blowing through that shit.
Yeah.
Because he did the open bar for his granddaughter's wedding. He got him that gift. And he was, like, buying all these different places. Like, the restaurant caught on fire.
Yeah.
So he gave them a whole bunch of money.
Well, that was the veteran hall.
Oh, yeah, you're right. That was the veteran hall. Okay, yeah. So, maybe he only bought one or two places because he went back and he rebought his house.
Yeah.
And so I think he might have been just enjoying his time. I'm not shit, dude. If I was that old, I'd probably do the same thing. Like I'm not bashing on the guy.
Pulling all that money out.
He's been like progressive through his whole life.
I guarantee every person ever that's semi-poor was like, "Fuck,
right?
maybe I should do some drug running." Like that dude just pulled out $75,000 out of that thing and made it in 2 days.
Yeah. Right. I'm sure people get caught. I'm sure that's such an easy way to get caught. Because they have all those snitches. Like, they did a good job with, like, the law enforcement aspect of it.
Yeah.
Like, that was cool because he only... I think he had 12 runs under his belt by the time it was all said and done. But, like, they were on him after, like, 3. Like, that's why they were like, you need to hurry up. Like, you got to go to another case. You've been tracking this guy for months. You haven't caught him yet. So, like, he was, like, they were on to him for a long time, but just they were never catching him because he doesn't look that part. Yeah. So, OKE, The Mule, very OKE. Solid C.
Yeah, solid C to a B.
Yeah, I know I wouldn't buy it.
I don't buy movies usually.
And so. I don't know. I really don't know. I don't think I'd watch this if it came out on Netflix.
I would.
Like, maybe I wouldn't watch it myself. Like, maybe if I was hanging out with somebody who hasn't seen it before and was, like, ranting about how much they love Clint Eastwood, I'd be like, oh, you want to sit down and watch The Mule? Sure. But, yeah, one-time watch for me.
No.
Yeah,
one-time watch this more than one time.
Let's go watch...
for sure put this in the background.
Let's go watch Venom. Venom was so good. I mean, there's a lot of things wrong with it, but it was overall very good.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
Pretty good one.
You know what I like about Tom Hardy? Is that he always is different. Like, in every movie he's never the same person. Like, his voice is always different. His mannerisms are always different. Like, I remember people complaining about Venom because he was like, twitchy and like blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yeah, Tom Hardy he's always different in all of his movies.
Yeah.
Like when in Peaky Blinders, have you put time into Peaky Blinders? I love Tom Hardy's character in Peaky Blinders. He's a Jew.
Never even heard of it.
It's super good on Netflix. Yeah, you should check out Peaky Blinders. It's good. It has the guy from 28 Days Later, the main character from 28 Days Later. He's like the Scarecrow in Batman Begins. It's good. But that's how you know we're done, is when we start talking about other things other than the movie. That's how you know that we've exhausted ourselves in a review of okay movies.
Yeah.
Both of these were okay movies.
There are some movies that I want to see that are coming out. But,
yeah.
Overall, don't watch Bird Box. I'd probably give The Mule a shot. I would watch it at least once. Unless you're one of those people that just get like super cringy at racist jokes, and then just don't watch the movie because you'll want to leave the theater. It's a 90-year-old person making jokes, so I don't know what you expect.
I feel like this movie was probably like really popular like in the Midwest. I think The Mule is probably really popular in the Midwest.
Maybe.
Maybe. Not to umbrella everybody, but yeah. I don't know. Now that I'm thinking about it, was Bird Box better than The Mule?
No.
I don't think so either.
Not even a little bit.
I don't think so either. But I know I wouldn't watch The Mule again unless someone like wanted to. And I was like, all right, fine. But I know I would show somebody Bird Box if I knew they kind of like had like a liking to that kind of thing. But that's not. I'd show The Mule to somebody that had a liking to that kind of thing too, though. Yeah.
I would just be like, Bird Box, don't waste your time. The Mule was a decent movie. I would go watch it.
Yeah. Yeah, Bird Box. I think Bird Box is like having a hard time because a lot of people are hyping it up, and it's not a movie worthy of such hype.
No.
Like
Why do people hype it up so much?
I don't know. I don't get it. I think it's because movies fucking suck so much nowadays that anytime something irregular comes out, they're like, "Oh my god, it's not an Avengers movie. It's not a DC movie." It's like I think we've just been I think we've been bombarded by Avengers, Marvel, DC, Transformers, like all these like really big, like grandioso, over the top movies.
Wars.
Yeah, Star Wars. That's
Harry
another
Potter.
good one. Yeah, Harry Potter. Like there's just so many like
Alien.
continuation, genre, Predator. Yeah, there's just so many of these movies that keep coming out that are like Bumblebee, the 9th fucking installment of Transformers at this point, that like something comes out that's different than everything else. And everyone's like, oh my God, this movie's so good, when it's really not that good. It's just different than all the other crap that's been coming out lately.
Which sucks because we've exhausted all those things.
Yeah.
At this point, the only place we have to go is to show real death on TV.
Gladiators. On
Here
HBO.
first. It's going to start happening. And porn's going to be a thing in real movies now.
Fuck, man.
That's like, it's so funny because
it's close.
I guarantee it's going to start happening within the next 20 years.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, we get some pretty extensive scenes in rated R movies every once in a while. I'm like, that's like a 4-minute long, like, this was an older movie, but Original Sin, like, how was that, like, 7-minute long sex scene in a rated R movie in the theaters? Like that was like some straight softcore porn. Not that I'm complaining. It's before Angelina Jolie got her boob reducement.
Yeah.
That's some crazy shit.
That's where we're headed because we have nothing else to do. So it's only a matter of time before society decides that murder on screen is okay.
Right. I hope not. I think there's some saving graces that come out every once in a while. Like, I want to say last year is when Annihilation came out, and I super enjoyed Annihilation. You know, I watched The Green Room on Netflix. I really, really liked that, dude. That was good. It was a good, gory horror movie. Captain Picard's in it.
Don't know who that is.
Professor Xavier.
Oh.
And he played like the head of like this white supremacist group. And I was like, fuck, that was a really good performance. I would have never thought that he would play that kind of a character, but he's such a damn good actor, it doesn't matter. But like there's a lot of movies that come out. It's just they're not hitting, you know, those fucking $1 billion gross income like these other movies.
Maybe it's not even that. Maybe it's just the fact that we're not 17 anymore. And so the movies just aren't appealing to us anymore.
It could be. I watched the Infinity Wars last night. I was like, ugh.
The second one or the first one?
Avengers Infinity Wars. With Thanos.
Okay.
Where he snaps his fingers at the end.
What was the one right before that?
I think Thor Ragnarok was right before that.
Oh, it was, huh?
Yeah, I think Thor Ragnarok was before that.
That's right.
But yeah, I watched the Infinity Wars movie again, and when I was done watching it, I was like, why was this movie 2 hours and 40 minutes?
It was a long movie.
What the fuck? That was long, dude.
Yeah.
And like seeing it in theaters, I was like, wow, this is cool. Like visually, it's cool. And like you get the new Spider-Man, which I really like, and Tony Stark, and them being together, and that worked out good. And then the new Thor, which I don't like how funny he is, but like they need to do something because the Thor movies sucked.
Yeah.
But like now that he's like semi-funny, it adds another aspect to it. Even though I'm like, that's not Thor.
Dude,
and then
Captain
him
Marvel
being with the
comes out
Guardian of the
pretty soon.
Galaxies.
Yeah.
I was like, oh man, there was so many like good things, but like there was such a major slowdown. I was like, fuck, I'm bored right now. I didn't feel that way in
2
the
hours and
theater.
40 minutes.
Yeah, I didn't feel bored in the theater. Like when it was over, I was like, fuck, it's over already? What? But watching at home, I was like, oh man, hurry it up.
Yeah.
But
I'm just waiting for the next Guardian of the Galaxy movie.
I don't know if
because-
there's going to be another Guardians of the
Probably
Galaxy
not.
movie after all that stuff that happened with the director. I can't remember the director's name. But all those old tweeters that he put out.
Oh.
Yeah, they got rid of him as director. And the cast were saying they wouldn't, like, they were, like, writing a
Oh,
letter or whatever when that
Wouldn't
happened.
work for him again.
Yeah, that they wouldn't work without him.
Oh, they wouldn't work without him.
Yeah, they were, like, taking his side. And so I don't even know if there'll be another Avengers movie, which would be a shame because those are the best. Besides, like, Deadpool. Those are the best
the new Deadpool
movies
movie's
right
coming
now.
out.
Yeah.
Captain Marvel's coming out.
I don't know about Captain Marvel.
I'm probably not going to watch
I don't know. I probably won't watch it either.
But that's it from us, guys.
Yep.
So take a look at these movies. Let us know what you think. And we'll see you next time.
Oh, yeah. Like,
Comment.
subscribe.
We'll see you next time.
Halt!